It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. It's time to open up beer number 11, or day number 11, should I say, on the North Brewing Company Christmas Advent Calendar. There it is, right there. It's starting to look like it's been shot at, this box, isn't it? Without further ado, let's get this out into a glass and see what we get. I'll open the door and see what we get first and foremost. So what do we have here? Telstar Pale Ale, 3.4% ABV. Never heard of this one. Never heard of it. And to be honest, this is what I love about a beer advent calendar. The fact that you just don't know what you're going to get. So I've got some glasses here. Now, I do my reviews in batches. So, do I use the IPA glass for a pale ale? And then when I go to beer number 12, I've just got one glass left, don't I? So, I'm going to be hoping for like a porter or a stout or something along those lines to go into this glass. But equally, you can put a pale ale in here too. So I think I'm going to leave this glass till last, if you like. But that kind of looks like the old kind of BBC World Service, something from the 1980s, like an old studio, from like the 80s or 90s when you used to watch a television program. Let's get it out into a glass, see what we get. 3.4% ABV, 440 milliliter can. And I'll be honest, I'm not a 3.4% ABV type of guy. But if there's going to be any brewery that's going to pull off a light beer that's still tasty at 3.4% ABV, and there's probably only a few breweries in the country that can do this, one of those is North. So let's see then. This kind of reminds me of the old era. There was like, back in like 2013, there was like a tax thing that come in, where if you brewed 2.8% ABV beer, or under, it fell under a certain tax bracket, and people brewed it by abundance. All of a sudden, you've seen lots of 2.8% ABV beers. But the point is, nobody bought it. As much as governments and as much as, like, not breweries don't want to brew 2.8% ABV beers, trust me. They can push it all they like, but no one's getting on board with that. No one's getting on board with a 2.8% ABV beer. I don't care who you are. But 3.4%, it's in that kind of like middle ground, isn't it? But I think, 4.2. It's like this mental dialogue in my mind. Like anything around 4.2% ABV, if I'm going to session, it's perfect. But even this, and I've not put it to my nose yet or taste it, even this, I think if I was in North Barron, Leeds, and I seen this on the board in front of me, Telstar 3.4%, I'd probably go, come all this way to Leeds from Wales, I'll probably give that one a miss. And again, that's just me being straight as a die honest with everybody here. It's probably going to blow my mind. This is probably going to blow me away completely. I got a funny feeling it's been brewed to prove a point. It's been brewed to show that you can produce great beer in the kind of low ABV category. We got a 1 to 2 finger white head, good levels of carbonation, and it's slightly hazy in colour. Let's get the aroma then. Yeah, the aroma is terrific, really full of hops, hop forward beer. Passion fruit, mango, grapefruit, orange peel, fleshy blood orange. It smells great. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. I knew I'd be doing this. Stone the Crows. Stone the Crows. It's fantastic. It's fantastic, and it proves, and this has happened to me time and time again, it proves that beer can be brewed fantastically well in that kind of 3% range, that 3.5%, 3.4% ABV. It's so, the benefit of the beer is that it's so juicy and drinkable, and that's because they've needed less malt to produce the beer. So with less malt, pardon me, yep, you're getting that higher water content in the beer. And of course, North have probably treated their water to make it nice and soft anyway. So it's probably up there in the region of probably being 97% water, this beer. So it's super juicy, super refreshing. And then the hops coming through are just wonderful. Grapefruit. Little tickle of carbonation as the beer gets pushed around the inside of the mouth, releasing more of that flavour. Juicy, juicy, juicy. Dare I say it, and I don't keep up with the laws too much, and I probably should, but you could probably have a can of this and drive a car. Feel a bit like you never know what to say these days, do you? In terms of that kind of, in that, do you say that sentence? Did you even mention it? And I'm only saying that because I grew up, my dad lost his license with drink driving, and it just, he went through that era of like late 70s, 1970s, 1980s, where it was a thing, you couldn't drink and drive, but everyone did back then, everyone did. I'm not standing here saying it's right or wrong, definitely probably not right, but it happened. It was a lifestyle thing. My dad would often chuck us in the car, take us for a meal, twice a week, maybe 3 times a week sometimes, and he'd have a few pints, and he wasn't like foot to the floor driving home type of thing. He was this is where it's touchy, and it's a touchy thing. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but I will, because we've started it now, haven't we? 3.4% ABV. They are lowering the bar on what you can. It used to be 2 pints when I was young. It's now 1 pint. It probably won't be long before they kind of rule it out completely. But as far as I know, it hasn't been ruled out completely. And you could probably drink a 3.4% ABV beer and drive a motor vehicle. I like this channel to be about kind of like we won't shirk subjects, we won't like dodge subjects, and we'll talk about things, and we'll talk about kind of like, was it right that my dad had a few pints and had a meal, took us out? Probably not. Do I kind of like applaud him for it? I'm not going to say that on camera, am I? Did I enjoy the meals that I was taken out for as a youngster? Yeah, of course I did, and my sister and my mother, and it got us out the house. It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. I'll leave it as a beer review though. We won't make it a drink driving video. North Brewing Company Telstar 3.4% pale ale, a beautifully hoppy sessionable pale ale with notes of bright tropical fruits and crushed citrus zest. 440 milliliter can. Yeah, it's a blooming decent beer at 3.4% ABV. Look at it. Looks great, doesn't it? It's great beer. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Reload Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.